something? Just shut up.
Hi, Jamie.
Yeah.
Jeff in Las Vegas. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
I think this is we meet about once every decade for an interview.
Is that right?
Yeah. So ever since I started my career 30 years ago, I interview about once a decade. Last time was The Artist. So
Ah.
this is a total thrill. I'm such a big fan of yours.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for talking about Mondo Hollywoodland today. And a psychedelic guide to Hollywood. You know, we follow a mushroom dealer and a man from the fifth dimension as they search for the meaning of Mondo in present day Hollywood. You know, as executive producer, what intrigued you about the theme of this movie?
I don't think it was the theme. I think when I saw what he was doing, I really admired. You know, I just read the other day that when Jean-Luc Godard did Breathless, he had no idea what he was doing, but he didn't care. And I thought, wow, here's somebody using a style of filmmaking, which is not only fairly unique, but it's sort of completely out of the ken of what's going on now with everybody trying to make it with a certain kind of look. And I loved the look. I loved the politics. I loved the humor. I thought was wonderful. Thought much of it was very well observed, and the cutting and the imagery, provocative. I've already sort of figured out why, at least in my terms, why he did it that way. And so actually it was the whole project. It wasn't the theme per se, whatever the theme is, because I'm not sure that I could identify the theme. It's sort of like looking for Guffman or even worse, waiting for Godot. Godot never shows up. This doesn't resolve just because he gets his cat back. He continues, his opponent continues, Ben Shapiro continues, and as we go down deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole.
Well, this movie takes chances, and it's not often we see experimental films full length, to say the least. Usually the short experimental films. Reminded me a lot of these psychedelic films from the late 60s that I see on Turner Classic Movies once in a while. And you know, day in the life scenes, you know, you have to tell viewers to be open-minded, don't you, for a movie like this?
Yes, if you can tell them. I mean, unfortunately, they're barraged in every platform by a sort of banality of options. There's only really one way. There's only one look, and there's only one way of dealing with it. This interview has its own style. It's, you know, you try not to break the style. Try not to be too provocative. Trying to engage as large an audience as possible, getting as many likes as possible, and all this mitigates what you can do. That's why it says dare to be an artist. To be an artist it's a risk. The risk is that it won't work. And even if it does work, it won't be seen by very many people. That's not the point of doing it. Self-expression is not about the other person. It's about what it does to the artist who is self-expressed.
I say this is not casual movie viewing, to say the least. And I love movies, after being a critic for 25 years, movies that challenge my senses and my sensibilities. And Mondo really did that, you know? So once you realize you're watching a movie that's not A, B, and C and spoon-fed that you've been seeing for the last 50 years, it really was unique to see the artist, as you would say, the lighting, the camera angles, the characters, the abstract to it. What's he trying to say? And there was so much going on with this film that I had to watch it twice, believe it or not.
Oh, I've watched it a number of times. I still don't know. No, I know what's going on. I can follow it. But the thing is, if you've partaken of shrooms, then you know what it does to the reality. And he actually I have a Huichol. It's an indigenous tribe in Mexico. And they do these thread paintings, which they press these psychedelic threads into a beeswax. And it's all about their peyote journeys. And they are incredibly vivid, and I really love them. And that's what reminded me, the way he did it. Usually when you see people that are stoned, the camera is not stoned. The camera is supposed to, record what it is to be stoned, but that's not what being stoned is. People acting stupid is not it. what it is everything changes. Your sense of narrative changes. Your ability to control anything at any particular moment. You have to completely give in. And that's what I felt the film demanded. It demanded just letting go of any expectation and any aesthetic and just saying, oh, let the images flow over. There are ones that resonate with me. There are ones that don't resonate with me, but because I don't understand. And I think that's great. Why should a work of art be transparent enough to be understood, which is the Booby Prize, by anybody?
Absolutely. And, writer director Ambrose, what an original eye. Is he someone to look out for, to watch for?
Yeah, I think so. I loved his documentary. He sent me his documentary, which I also helped produce. I don't produce them. I add whatever weight my name counts in getting him into a room for somebody to see this film, and hopefully somebody with enough courage to see that there is something there, no matter what it looks like, no matter whether they say, oh, it's rough. If you see Breathless now, Breathless is still as rough now as it was then. The edge has not gone off Jean-Luc Godard. And I think that's great. So if you have the edge, you got to keep the edge. And so my support to him is dare to be an artist, keep the edge.
Well, thank you for championing artists, and thank you for championing originality, because it's something that's rare these days. And I appreciate you talking to me today, Jamie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure, man.
You take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Good enough. Done.